Hi guys, my name's Laura. I did my project on a registered dietitian, and so I actually interviewed two people. One of them is actually one of my mom's friends, family friends actually. So she works at actually three different places. So when you're a registered dietitian, and you can also read in my PowerPoint, you you usually don't just have one set job. It's more of you work mainly maybe at a clinic, and then you work outside the clinic at, like, you go to house calls with like people that are pregnant. You can make meal plans. You can work in hospitals. You can be a clinical registered dietitian. Um, there's just a lot of options for working. You can even work in like food service situations. So you're in charge of making sure everything's clean. You get in trouble if stuff gets messed up. So that's the only downside to that part of it. But there are a lot of options for registered dietitians to find jobs. And so she actually works at three different places. She works for a hospital. She works for a program that also you can go out. You basically meet at a certain place, and then every week they give you different jobs. So as a registered dietitian, you're very versatile. I also met with a lady named Kim Terapelli, which is an athletic nutritionist. Originally, that's what I wanted to be, but after talking to some other athletic registered dietitians, I've realized that that's not really maybe the job for me. It's long hours, um, kind of weird hours too, because as you understand, athletes work out really early in the morning, like 5 in the morning, and they're there till like 8 at night. So if I want to have a family, that's probably not going to work out too well. But it's just good to keep my options open, as they both suggested keep your options open. And they suggested also for me to find an internship that has multiple different areas in this career path, so I can be doing all different kinds of jobs in one internship. So then when I come out of that internship, I'm going to know what I want to do with my career. Like, I'll know what I like and what I don't like. For the writing analysis, I did mine on an article called Nutrition Management in Chronic Disease Patients. This is actually really interesting because this article included a PowerPoint with it, and the PowerPoint and article are a summarization of a meeting that registered dietitians had, put on by a lady named Amy Sweden, who is a registered dietitian. And she basically, this whole PowerPoint and this whole journal is a summary of what she presented to all these registered dietitians. So it was like a huge meeting. Registered dietitians actually have a lot of meetings. I think they have to have a set amount of meetings a year. I'm not positive yet because obviously I'm not one yet, but they have a set number of meetings a year, and you basically have to log hours for them, and so it just basically shows every year, like, you write down what meetings you went to, and it renews your registered dietitian uh, certification. Sorry. So this actually came across to me when I was looking it up. Like, I was looking at a bunch of registered dietitian articles, and this one came across to me as being really interesting because my brother actually, about 5 years ago, he had kidney problems, and he had to go in and get half of one of his kidneys removed because the urinary tract wasn't running correctly. So he was on a lot of medications. He was on a lot of things that would help him regulate his system. He wasn't able to, he was very constipated a lot. And so when I was reading this article, it was really interesting because I was like, okay, a lot of these things happened to my brother. I mean, yes, he didn't have a chronic disease, but the doctor said it could lead to that if he didn't have a portion of his kidney removed. So basically, the summary of this article is dialysis, which dialysis is a medical terminology for, they go in and they take out all the waste and all the like water that's not supposed to be in your bloodstream, and they basically just clean your system out, which is something that the kidney is supposed to be doing on its own. But since these people have kidney failure, it doesn't function like that for them. So when you're under dialysis, which is not a fun situation, as I've learned from this presentation and journal article. You lose a lot of protein in your body, and they suggest that you have a plant-based diet, because a plant-based diet requires a lot of energy, because you can eat, did you know that you can eat 500 calories of plant-based product and it will fill up your stomach all the way, whereas if you eat meat, 500 calories is only going to fill up your stomach a little bit less than halfway. So the satisfaction of it and your energy like content that you need in your body, vegetables are like a way better way to go. And actually, I'm not a vegetarian, but I only eat fish. I don't eat chicken. I don't eat meat just because it's not very lean and it has a lot of fat in it. And really, it's not that great for you. There's so many other ways of getting protein. So people will say like, "Oh, you don't get enough protein." I'll be like, "Yeah, actually, I do. I get a lot of protein." There's just other ways of getting it, and you can look it up online. Anything. It's very interesting to read about, actually. So they put them on this plant-based diet, and they're also not allowed to intake a lot of liquids throughout the day. So plant-based diet, vegetables have a ton of water in it, so you're getting that, and that isn't part of your liquid consumption of the day. So you are actually getting hydrated by eating as well. So the results of this, there were some results in the journal article, and two of the members actually, one of them was this older lady. Her name was, I think it was Carrie, and she wasn't, because she was on dialysis, she had no energy whatsoever. And after being put on this plant-based diet and given options for her liquid consumption, she had so much more energy, and she was actually able to travel and go see her grandchildren and daughter, who lived a 6-hour plane ride away in the United States. So she had so much more energy to where she could go hang out with her family, do stuff with them. So that was awesome. I found that to be really interesting. So basically, a registered dietitian does all these things for people. They help them. They create a healthier lifestyle for them, a better lifestyle. In this instance, she had so much more energy, she was able to go see her family. It's just amazing what dietitians can do. And I hope this PowerPoint shows you a little bit more about what they do as a job, and maybe help you appreciate them a little bit better. And you can look up anything online, and you can find out tons of information about being a registered dietitian. And so, yeah, that's my presentation. Have a good summer.